What's going on, guys? Kevin here to bring you a new video today. Where today I'm going to be talking about tonight the final edition of Horror October. I had recorded a video for this earlier, but sadly the file was corrupted because I'd used too much space on my phone. So now I'm recording this again, and that's why this video is late. But nonetheless, here we are. The final day of Horror October. This is it. It all comes down to this. And for today's final day, yesterday I watched Trick or Treat. And it's stylized as Trigger Treat, like R apostrophe, like Trigger Treat, like the slang. And yeah, it was really good. I'm glad I watched it because it was definitely fitting in with like the Halloween theme of things. Because it's actually like set during Halloween, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I really love this movie. I have to give it like a really good rating because I couldn't really say anything bad about it in particular. Like it's just really fun and it's kind of cool with like how the endings turn out for these four different like interwoven tales for our characters. But yeah, it's does something really cool where like it's like telling four different stories, like with different characters, but they're all like interconnected and set in the same like day and world, and like they're on like a timeline where like different stories happened at like different points in time, and then they all like at the end it all like comes together. So interestingly enough, it starts out at the beginning. The beginning is the end of the story actually. Where this kid haunts this family for taking down their Halloween decorations too early, because this kid who wears a burlap sack is like pretty creepy, and he's kind of like the theme character of the movie. He's on like the cover of the movie. He's like a burlap sack, and underneath he's like a pumpkin, like actually has a pumpkin for a head. It's pretty creepy. But yeah, I'll get into that. But yeah, it starts out with him just haunting this family and killing them, and then the credits roll, and they kind of did like a cool thing where like they were like gave you like a safety warning about Halloween, which is kind of like the theme of this movie is like you think everything's all cool on Halloween, but really underneath there's some crazy shit going on that you gotta watch out for, be careful out there, like yeah, it's really fun though, like and the stories are definitely more like unconventional compared to like other horror movies. Like the first story has what is the first one? It has this principal who has a kid, not his son, but like there's this like kid who's like breaking jack-o'-lanterns and stealing candy and stuff, and he's just like a asshole kid, like, and then he ends up like seeing this principal guy, and this principal guy gives him candy, and it's funny because the kid was trying to like steal his candy, which is kind of like mean, and then like the principal like pretends to give him candy, but it turns out to be like bad candy that makes him like puke up blood. So like, okay, I mean, like, not sure if they necessarily deserve that, but I mean, kind of funny though how it works out. And then like, because that kid was being so annoying, yeah, he wanted to basically kill him. And he goes to like bury his body, and he has to like kill him, and just like cover it up. And there's this whole meme with him trying to like cover it up, and this doesn't come to play right away, but there's like interconnected things in this movie. One of them being this neighbor who, while this guy's outside trying to bury this body, he comes out to see him and asks like, "What the hell is he doing?" And then he sees him and like shouts at him, and then he's like trying to like play it off like nothing's happening. You're like, oh, it's just his neighbor like asking about him, but little did we know that that was actually his neighbor, who actually gets their own story later, which is interesting. But yeah, he kills this kid, and his son was being kind of annoying, like kept bugging him to like carve a pumpkin, and you're like, oh god damn it. And then like you almost think he kills his son, but it kind of ends in like a freak way. Like all of these interwoven stories like kind of end in not necessarily good ways, but not necessarily bad ways. Like I know I always like am obsessed with like whether or not a movie has a good ending, but like I wouldn't say like the endings to these movies are necessarily good or bad. They're just kind of like different, and that makes them really cool, because they're not like your average ending to movies. So basically, in the end of this first one, they end up carving this kid's head, the asshole kid. They cut his head off and end up carving his head. Like, okay, I mean, like, I guess he got what's coming to him, but like, shit, like, okay. And then like, the second story, I think it is about this group of girls. This like group of girls, I guess. They're kind of like all interwoven, but like, another one was like this group of girls is going out looking to have fun, and they seem like all like really innocent initially, which is like this one surprises you for what happens, because like they're just like girls like getting dressed up, going out trick-or-treating, like, or going out to party. They just want to have a good time. One of them is a virgin, and the other girls want her to get laid, so you're like, okay, good luck with that, like, hopefully they do well. And then like to take an interesting turn, there's like this guy who likes to rape and kill people, so you're like, okay, that's obviously the bad guy, like, he's gonna hunt them down. No, it's not like that. This guy ends up thinking that he could like rape and kill this girl, but he ends up actually getting turned on by betrayed and fucked by these girls. Not actually fucked, but like he gets his shit beaten and killed by these group of girls. And it's like a surprising reveal, because like she was wearing a Red Riding Hood costume, and like this like Red Riding Hood like figure falls down from a tree, and you think it's the girl because she was like, you know, tortured by this guy, but it was actually the guy in the Red Riding Hood costume. So that was like a surprising reveal. And then you're like, okay, why is he in that? And then we learn that the girls are actually secretly werewolves and vampires holding this party in the woods. And they like to kill any guy they see for fun. So like, okay, that's cool. Like, alright. And then like that guy just dies a horrible death. So you're like, I mean, pretty interesting ending. Not necessarily a like happy ending, but it's a fun story. Like, oh my god, like that's such a twist. Like, okay. And then the third story is like this group of kids goes on like an expedition to find out about this this horror thing, or this history about these group of kids that got driven into a lake by a bus driver, or well, the bus driver was driving them, but then the kids drove the bus into a lake, and they were thought to be dead, but like these kids all like explore and try to like find stuff, and they bring along this like witch girl who's actually like pretty nice, just like she's more like reserved, and like has something about her that like you feel like if shit went wrong, like she could like, you know, turn on them if she wanted to, which does happen. So like they actually prank her and scare her and make her think that they were the people that had like died or gotten lost down there. They being like the kids she was with, but it was just them. And like because of that, the real killers come out, who were like they were like murdering psychopath kids who like come out and actually start like going after the kids. And so as revenge, the witch girl actually goes back inside this door to go back up and locks it, and doesn't let them back in because like they were in a quarry, so it's like really far down, and the only way back up was through this gate, through this door. And then yeah, she gets her revenge by letting them die from these kids. So like, I mean like, so like again like, I mean like, interesting ending. Like they kind of had it coming because they made such a cruel prank. But at the same time, like, damn, that's rough. That's rough. Um, but nonetheless, really fun. And then the other one was this old guy, um, also breaking Halloween tradition, um, pranks these trick-or-treaters by pretending he has a demon in his house with a dog that chases them, and it basically scares them into like giving him their candy, um, and so he doesn't have to deal with trick-or-treaters. So it's like, okay, interesting. And then because he was breaking Halloween tradition, this kid in this burlap sack actually like hunts him down and starts stalking him. Um, and then this is where the neighbor thing comes back into play because as he's being stalked, he goes outside because he was getting like freaked out, and like he sees his neighbor Steven, who's like doing the thing with the body even though he doesn't know that that's what he was doing, and he was getting all like nervous, and like he was actually out there because he was like kind of like freaking himself out. Like he's like, Steven, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Shut up, Steven, or whatever. Like he was just freaking out. And then like later on, he starts getting attacked by the kid, and the kid starts like really doing some shit to him that's just like hilarious. Like all sorts of like torturous things to hurt and kill him. Um, and then like there's another scene where he's like in the window. There's another part where he's like in the window, like trying to like cry out for help, and then like Steven sees him and doesn't want to help him, but it turns out like we saw that earlier, but it turns out the reason for that was because he was actually getting killed, and this thing was like ruthless. It had the power to like regenerate itself. So the old man ends up actually shooting it with a shotgun twice or three times, four times, I think, maybe. Yeah, either way, he thought he had killed it, but it regenerates and grows back, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. It lost its hand and got it back, and then persuaded to what's the word? Proceeded to kill him, or to try to kill him again. But then it kind of ends weird. He was actually had a candy bar on his chest, and the kid goes to stab him, and then he stabs the candy bar, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I get candy now. I can eat food," and then he just walks away. It's like, okay, cool. And then this guy lives and starts having to give candy to trick-or-treaters. And then there's like a little fun like scare twist at the end where like the murdering psychopath kids from the quarry came to his house for trick-or-treating. I don't know if they were gonna kill him, but they kind of like left that in the air, which is perfectly fine. And then like it comes back to this whole the initial story. Well, this is like the initial story of like the people getting killed for taking down their Halloween decorations early is just like the beginning story, but at the end it comes back to that story. So that was actually like the end of the whole timeline. And it's kind of cool how it like brings it all together because you see the old man giving out the candy, and then you see Steven's son, like who he was with, sitting on the porch on the step, and then you see the car with the group of girls all together, looking all innocent and sweet, and then you see the girl, the witch girl with the wagon, just walking with their pumpkin, and then you see the family taking down their Halloween decorations. So it all comes together, and like throughout the movie you have like this kid with like the burlap sack who's like just kind of there like throughout the movie. Like he's kind of like the, I guess like the theme. He fits into like the theme of the whole theme of the movie throughout. Um, but yeah, it was a really cool movie. I don't really have a whole lot to say that's bad about it. I really just loved its style and how it connected all the stories, and the stories were unique and told in a really cool way, and different from your average horror stories. I feel like, which made it really good, and just yeah, I really liked it. The ending to the old man one where he almost gets killed is a little weird. The more I think about it, but it's all right. I really love this movie. I'm gonna give it a 9.5, and keep it in line with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because those are like two totally different movies. But like this movie was so good that I don't know. It's hard to decide like if it's better than that movie or not, because it's just two totally different movies. But yeah, either way, that's gonna do it for today's video and this series for now. I will be putting out a bonus episode soon in the future for that, so stick around for that. But yeah, either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.